Good morning, 10:58 your time. Weather first on a Tuesday morning. Looking nice outside right now. And I really think that we still have the possibility of seeing some smoke in here, but nothing at all like what we saw yesterday, that's for sure. We'll start you off with a look at your weather first 24-hour day planning forecast for today. I'm looking for 98, an hour or so when you're noshing, if you may. 105 for the afternoon high, southeast and then south winds build 10 to 20 miles an hour as the day moves along. Lots of sunshine filtered through at times, maybe a bit of smoke or some high clouds. 93 is your current temp. That's a look at the weather. Here's your news.
Red, white, and blue 2008. It's an update on our race to the White House. Presidential hopeful Barack Obama is in the Valley right now. He's talking about the high energy prices. He's also going to meet with a local family, talk about tax relief. Thanks for watching Action News Live at midday. I'm Ron Futrell. Ricky Cheese is off today. Let's take a live look in with Barack Obama right now. This is Barack Live. Let's listen in to what he has to say here in Las Vegas.
Is number one, that people can afford to get retrained. And right now, costs are so prohibitive. I just met a wonderful family. They're here, but I don't want to point them out so that they feel self-conscious. But the father is a wonderfully skilled IT person, but he doesn't have all the certification. He probably should, and he just got laid off, he probably should get recertified right now in some of the new skills that will help him find a new job. But of course, when you lose your job, that's not the best time for you to want to take up an additional several $1,000s in costs for you to get retrained. We should be there to pick up, help absorb some of those costs. And even better, we should train people before they get laid off. So that's why I've got a $4,000 tuition credit, every student, every year, in exchange for some community service to help our young people initially get the college education they need. That would make community colleges basically free for every student, and it would cover about 2/3 of the costs of a public college or university four-year education. And I want those tax credits to apply to the non-traditional student as well, somebody who is looking to retrain. They may be 30, 35, starting a new career, got laid off, want to go into a new field. We've got to make those resources accessible to them. And we also should be partnering with community colleges, unions, and so forth in figuring out how do we design these programs and then link them up with businesses that are already producing these jobs. Asking that, we should find out from the top solar folks, we should talk to Bombard and say, what are the jobs of the future that we're looking at? Where is this technology going? And if somebody is interested in this field, how should they be trained? And then designing the education.
Barack Obama there live in Las Vegas talking about jobs and energy issues this morning. Casey Smith, our reporter, is out there live on the scene, and he'll have a full update for us in just a few moments. In other news here on the Republican side of the race, candidate John McCain will be campaigning here in Las Vegas tomorrow. He's in Santa Barbara meeting with California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, talking about energy efficiency. He's proposing the federal government purchase more environmentally friendly vehicles. They have a lot of hydrogen-based fuel cars in California there, and also trying to improve the offices for the government to make it more efficient. He believes it could save billions of dollars taxpayer money if that were the case. Stay with Action News as the presidential campaigns head into their national conventions. You can get election news anytime. KTNV.com is the place to go. Again, updates from Barack Obama as they become available to us here. See you speaking live in Las Vegas. Okay, here in the Valley, talking about gas prices holding steady at $4.27 a gallon. That's according to AAA. But we're still paying 50 cents more than we were just last month. Right now, the national average is $4.07. That's also unchanged over the past few days. A developing story out of the nation's capital for you right now. Today, the Federal Reserve begins 2 days of meetings to talk about the economy. The Fed is expected to leave interest rates unchanged at about 2%. This comes after almost a year of cuts. The prime rate applies to certain credit cards, home equity lines of credit, and other loans. Wall Street investors and a few economists believe inflation problems might force the Fed to start boosting the rates, perhaps in August or later this year. And the economic downturn is having an effect on apartment rentals here in the Valley. According to the Las Vegas business press, rents are staying pretty flat right now. The Las Vegas average, about $900 a month. The highest prices are in the Southwest at just over $1,000 on average. The Northeast had prices about $775 a month. Meantime, vacancies are also up about 1.4% over last year's numbers. Another developing story, we may soon learn more about the case involving Javon Walker. He's an NFL wide receiver attacked in Las Vegas earlier this month. In a few minutes, Metro Police will provide an update on the case, but exactly what will be revealed, we don't know right now. You may remember Walker was beaten and robbed near Koval and Winnick earlier this month, is what he said, and went to the hospital for those injuries. We'll bring you the new developments on later editions of Action News online at ktnv.com and, of course, during our newscast. New information into the Action Newsroom. New York City officials tell Congress they are making strict requirements on tower cranes. They've had some recent accidents there in New York City. Of course, we've had our share here in Las Vegas, not as many as they've had recently, but a committee is examining whether there are insufficient safeguards in place. In other words, they think the things might not be safe enough to be used in some high-rise construction sites. Just last month, a construction worker died in a crane accident at Project City Center here in town. It's the second death this year at that site. Right now, police are investigating a body dumped at Sunrise Hospital overnight. Police say it was a male victim, died of stab wounds. The person who dropped the victim off did not talk to the doctors, just left. Dropped the body off, took off. Right now, police have no crime scene or any leads to go by. The suspect in a murder case that's more than decades old, this case is, busted David Morgan back in January 2007, Metro did, and charged him with killing Gabriel Vincent in 1979. This happened. Detectives say Morgan was having an affair with Vincent's wife. They think Morgan might be linked to two other cold cases. This preliminary hearing is expected to last a couple of days. An update now on the western wildfires. Firefighters from Nevada and Oregon are lending a helping hand in Northern California. That's where more than 800 lightning-sparked wildfires are burning. Over 1,000 homes are threatened around Napa County. Some evacuees say they only had enough time to grab their pets and important documents.
Completely turned, and we had smoke, and then we could see flames, and the fire department came to our door and said, "You better get out now," and started throwing ladders against our roof. And we decided that was a good time to leave again.
The National Weather Service says conditions in Napa County are ripe for more of the same right now. It's hot there. In the Midwest, the Mississippi is still rising. National Guard soldiers are patrolling some of the levees there, looking for some soft spots. Water is all pouring down from Iowa right now, where they've had days of heavy rain there, have left towns underwater. The Mississippi is not expected to crest until the end of this week. In Missouri, good news for Iowa there. The river has finally started to recede there. Still ahead on Channel 13 Action News Live at midday, shock jock Don Imus making headlines once again. He says he was only being sarcastic. Set off another controversy. We'll tell you more just ahead. And loved ones are hoping for a miracle in the Philippines. They're hoping to find survivors in a ferry disaster there. And for breaking news updates anytime, sign up to Action News e-alerts. You can get breaking news and daily updates sent to your inbox. To get started, go to ktnv.com and click on e-alerts.
This is Channel 13 Action News Midday in high definition with Ron Futrell and Ricky Cheese. Weather first with meteorologist Mike Cholinas and breaking news from the Action News Home. Now, Channel 13 Action News in high definition continues.
Divers in the Philippines have made their way into a ferry boat that capsized only to find bodies. The vessel capsized in a typhoon, more than 800 people on board. Only about 3 dozen survived. They have been found, their bodies and the people have been found. Victims held a mass at a Coast Guard headquarters there in the Philippines in Manila. They're still holding out hope that they will find other survivors. Radio host Don Imus under fire again this morning after making another racially charged comment. The comments come just 14 months after being fired for controversial comments about the Rutgers University women's basketball team. In this case, he was talking about a football player, Adam Pac-Man Jones, and his troubles recently here in Las Vegas.
Well, stuff happens. What color is he?
He's African American.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, this morning on his show, Imus said he was just being sarcastic and that he meant Pac-Man Jones was being picked on because of his race. Still ahead on Channel 13 Action News Live at midday, United Airlines has announced some job cuts. And if you have bad credits, did you know it could affect your job search? We'll explain just ahead. Mike?
You know, Ron, this morning earlier, I was talking about the possibility that if the flow changed in the upper layers of the atmosphere, there'd be less of a chance for us to see the smoke than yesterday. And it looks like that has come true in terms of what the computer models were thinking. It sounds like I'm getting technical, but I'm not. I'll explain it all in a bit why today's a better day. Just a bit, no flipping. Good morning, 11:14 is your time. A little weather first for you. And, you know, this was really kind of a point of concentration on my forecast this morning, was whether we were going to get as much smoke from those California fires as we saw yesterday. And this is what I was talking about earlier, was that the upper level forecast models were forecasting a change from the southwest towards the south above us, and that would push that smoke, if there was any, to the north of us. And, you know, out there right now, no reports of smoke whatsoever in the valley, just a little bit of haze out there and generally clear skies. So as we look ahead to our Weather First 24-hour day planning forecast for today, I think we're going to see lots of sunshine. 98 the noon hour, and like 105 or thereabouts for your afternoon high. Normal high for this time of the year is 100. So this is warm, but not, you know, ridiculously silly warm, that's for sure. 96 current temperature, that's at McCarran, just 7% the humidity. Winds at the surface have now pushed out of the east-northeast at 7 miles an hour. Downtown, 97, 100 Spring Valley, 100 Nellis, 101 Sunrise, and a buck two in Henderson. You know, 1 degree warmer in McCarran this time right now than it was this time yesterday, so a little bit warmer, and that's probably due to the fact that that smoke that we saw on those mid-level clouds that pushed in yesterday kind of, you know, kept some of that solar radiation off us a little bit and kept us a little cooler yesterday. 85 Denver now, 92 Dallas, 77 Chicago, 89 in Atlanta. Look at this area of thunderstorms. It is fired up across the Midwest. We call that a mesoscale convective system. What does it mean to you and me? Big glob of thunderstorms. How about that? And then there's also a little area of thunderstorms that is pushed up from the Gulf of Mexico on into south and eastern Texas and Louisiana. Meanwhile, back here at the ranch, not much going on. Weather Story shows us clear at the surface. This is the upper level forecast I was talking about. Notice that you're basically looking at a southwest flow here, and then through a part of today it pushes up from a southerly flow, and that's what's pushing whatever smoke there would be on up to the north of us instead of bringing it through the area like yesterday. It's going to be warm, though, even though it's going to be cooler than yesterday, still warm for this time of the year, if that makes any sense. 104 in Henderson, 103 Summerlin, 79 degrees. Mount Charleston, 104 Boulder City, and 111 in Laughlin today. Let them be a love. 80 degrees, clear and mild tonight. For tomorrow, mostly sunny, 103, a bit breezy. We move a weak trough through and we cool down to 102 on Tuesday, and then we're back up to 104 on Friday. 106 on Saturday, 108 on Sunday, and 108 on Monday. So it goes summer here in the valley. 11:16 is your time. Ron's laughing. He's like, you can't avoid the heat, can you, Ron?
You cannot avoid the heat.
No.
Okay, earlier in this newscast, we showed you Senator Barack Obama, the Democratic candidate for president, live as he's speaking here in Las Vegas. Let's go now to Casey Smith, who has been able to hear what Obama had to say to the crowd there. Casey, what can you tell us?
Well, good morning, Ron. Yes, Barack Obama, indeed, in Las Vegas. He's talking about energy today, both fossil fuels, oil, of course, and renewable energy. Now, the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee spent part of the morning touring the Springs Preserve, which, of course, is an area that's dedicated to resource conservation, as you well know. He inspected some of those solar panels they have at the preserve, which, as most of you know, are over the covered parking, and that's how they get a lot of the energy that they use here at the preserve. Then he moved inside, where he spoke to a small invited audience of union members and renewable energy officials. Now, he says renewable energy could be very good for Nevada.
Where we're standing in southern Nevada happens to be one of the best sources for generating solar power in the world. And next week, our friend and Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid will come here to cut the ribbon on a new thermal solar technology plant. Between solar, wind, and geothermal energy, this state could create upwards of 80,000 new jobs by 2025.
And that, of course, was received very well here. Also, he says if he becomes president, he'll invest some $150 billion on those same renewable energies. He also said that he would support another rebate stimulus checks like the one we're getting now to pay for the fossil fuels that we're having to pay such outrageous prices for now. Reporting live from the Springs Preserve, Casey Smith, Channel 13, Action News.
All right, thanks, Casey. We'll have more on later newscasts, certainly on Action News. You can check it out at that time with Barack Obama here in town. United Airlines plans on laying off 950 pilots. It's the first big U.S. carrier to have job cuts on cockpit crews.